Hello and welcome back to the reading vlogs. It is Monday. Well, pretty much evening already. I had a lot to say, a lot of like household tasks. If you can hear the oven in the background, I'm still baking dog treats. It was really necessary to bake some new ones, which will hopefully be enough for like a week and a half. They're always way too fast gone for the amount of effort I put into them. But at least I know what my dog is getting to eat. But yeah, so please ignore that. I will try and filter it out in editing, but I'm not the best at that. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I started a new book and I am so excited. We'll see. The only goal this week is to get through this chunker. It is 800 pages. I have no idea if I will be able to get through the book this week, but we will give it a good try. I might not quite make it, but we'll see. This is Gareth the Sorcerer by Lee and David Edding, and I love the beginning already. When I looked up the order in which you're supposed to read David Eddings, I found it pretty interesting that you get told to read the first and the second series, so the Bear Garrett and the Malorian series, and then go back and read Bear Gareth the Sorcerer, and then I think there's a second one of these about Hagara. I'm not quite sure if it is about her, but yeah, there's one I don't own, and then you go and read series 3 and series 4, which I still don't know if they play in the same universe as this one, but that is the order you're supposed to read them, and so I went ahead and did that. But this one is technically a prequel to series 1 and 2, but the interesting thing is it plays out right after series 2, because in the beginning we have a little bit of the characters of the first two series right after the series ended. Which I found to be really, really nice, because in last week's vlog I was like, oh, I'm so sad I'm not gonna see the characters again. And then I started this one and the characters were there again and I loved it so much. But yeah, the trick is that this book is the life story of Gareth, the sorcerer, told by him in present day after the first two series, which is pretty cool. I really like the concept because it is pretty much him quantifying his own life and telling his own life story with like all of the snark and all of the wisdom of like the first two series, and giving like little hints at what happened and stuff like that. He picks up a little bit of what we know of the characters and how they would react and stuff like that to his life story. So I really like that. I'm 50 pages in, so I'm not that far into it, but I didn't have a lot of time to read today. I will try to read at least like 20 pages more today. Ideally I would get to 100, but I don't think that's that's gonna happen today, to be honest. But yeah, I really like the concept of how the story is told. It is a lot of fun. One thing I do want to quickly talk about, which this is the first book where Lee Eddings is mentioned on the front, and there's a little bit of a blurb inside that tells that she has written all of the books together with David, but for some reason she was only credited, or starting to get credited, from this book on out, which I think is a little bit sad that her own husband didn't credit her on the first two series, which I think is pretty sad. That shouldn't happen. I don't know them. I don't know the reason why they did what they did. I just think it's a little bit sad. So yeah, to mention it, it is written by Lee and David Eddings, a wife and husband team, and yeah, going forward, if I talk about Eddings, I'm talking about both of them, because obviously they wrote it together. You can't really tell who wrote what, but yeah, I'm gonna stick to like a neutral Eddings when I talk about the authors, just to include them both. I actually didn't know that until I read the blurb in the beginning that it was written by both, so I'm kind of sad to have that wrong in all of the other vlogs. And even in my video about the first two series, or like the first series that I did like a standalone recommendation video, I didn't even know it then. So yeah, that is kind of a little bit sad, but yeah, I am really enjoying this one. Really, it is a lot of fun. Gareth is like a really crazy kind of morally gray character, and it's a lot of fun to read. So I'm looking forward to continue with that one. I'm also knitting. I started the second, like the back, but I have to redo the front because the arrows that I did annoyed me. I had to go back and figure the pattern out again. It isn't the best pattern. I'm a little bit annoyed that I paid money for that because I feel like it's not that well written as a pattern. I had better patterns already that I didn't have to pay for. So it was a little bit annoying. I am trying to figure out where the errors in the first one were and fix them in the second one so that I can redo the first one. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. And that is what I will be doing the rest of the evening. And yep, I will see you tomorrow. We'll see if I can read a little bit more today and then how much I can read tomorrow so that I actually can finish the book in a week. We'll see how that will work out. Okay, so today seems to be a day where everything goes wrong except for the reading. I don't know. It's just an annoying day today, to be honest. But let's start with the reading and end with the annoying shit. I read quite a bit. I'm at page 230 now, so I'm at quite the dent today, and I read over the 100 pages that I planned on reading, which I'm really, really happy with. I'm now at the point where Belgareth and... No, he's not alone. He is with Dras. They are trying to steal the orb back from Torak. So that is the point where I'm at right now. So if you know the story, you know where I'm at. I love the story. It is so nice. We have heard so much of like what happened in the two series. Like we had snippets of what happened in here, like everywhere in the books, but to have like the detailed description of what happened, why things happened, all of those things were so interesting. Like we get quite a big description of like why they built the towers and how they built them, and the whole way how everybody got together that lived in the Vale where Belgareth lived, and we see how he gets to know Polgara, his wife, which that is some really interesting shit, like there's so much interesting stuff in here like that I actually wanted to know, and that like elaborates on like all of the stories that we heard in the first two series. So I totally get now why you should read this after you read the Belgareth series and the Malorian series. So yeah, totally get that, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I will continue tomorrow. We will make our way through this throughout the week, because it's a great read. I do need to go and look up if I can find the other books I'm still missing by the Eddings. So, okay, that was my neighbor getting her package. But yeah, a lot of fun. I don't know where I was. I forgot. I have a lot of fun reading that. We'll continue with that throughout the week. But then today, first of all, I wanted to try out a new recipe, and I wanted to make broccoli cheese nuggets, pretty much. They sounded really good. And then I opened the broccoli that we bought 3 days ago, and it was moldy all over. So our lunch, pretty much, got thrown out the window. That was really annoying. I don't deal well with my food not going the way I wanted to go, so I had a little bit of a crisis. And yeah, that was annoying. Then I played Elden Ring, but I'm really stuck at the end boss. To be fair, I'm only stuck at the Elden Beast. Radagon, fine. The Elden Beast, I can get it to like a third of the way, like that I only have like a third of the health bar left, and then I die all the time. It is annoying a little bit. I will have to try again in a little bit, but yeah, we'll see if I can get through that this week. And then, to like do something relaxing, I did knitting, and then I messed up in the knitting, and now I have to frog a little bit and get back to the point where I made the mistake, figure out what my mistake is, and knit up to the point where I was actually, and then knit further. So that is how my day is going. It is not going great. It's going annoying, to be totally honest. I will try to play a little bit more Elden Ring, try to get through the boss. and I will try to do a little bit more knitting and get my arrows sorted out. Yeah, but I mean, it is one of those days, you know, so we'll see. I'm annoyed. Also, I scrapped my video idea with filming how I rearranged my shelves because I did some filming yesterday and some rearranging yesterday, and the footage is just, it's not good. So I will probably just do a video about the rearranged shelves once they are done, like an overview of how I changed how I keep my books and what books can go where and stuff like that. I think that will be just better. I don't know. I have a lot of problems with like figuring out where to put my camera when I film in my room, like on like a wider angle. And in the end, you were only seeing my backside the whole time. I kind of didn't like that. So yeah, we're gonna scrap that idea. And yeah, that is how the day is going. I hope yours is going better. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, on a more positive note. But I mean, hey, the reading is going great. At least that is going great. Not everything can go right every single day, you know? So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. And we'll see how, I mean, I know how this one will continue because I know the story already. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes on. And yeah, hopefully I can have a Elden Ring and a knitting update. But we'll see. Okay, it is Wednesday afternoon. Let's start with reading again. I am now I think I'm halfway through now. I'm at page 402, so I'm halfway through now, which is really nice. That means I think I might finish by Saturday, which means I can finish it in one vlog, which is kind of nice. But yeah, there was a lot of story in here. The 170 pages or something that I read today. There was a lot of family history for Belgarath, which I won't go into any details because obviously it's a lot of spoilers if you haven't read the first two series, because obviously a lot of what we get in here is already known in the rough outline pretty much. But yeah, there's a lot of family history in here, which I thought was really interesting. It was kind of, you know, there's a lot of sad things as well, but there's also like, you get to know the dynamics between the characters a little bit more and why they behave the way they do whilst reading the first two series. Like, that was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that. I am interested that we are at this point already, even though we have half of the book left. That means obviously the book is slowing down the further on we go when it comes to time. Like, we have gotten through a lot of time, the first 400 pages. And I'm thinking we're slowing down towards the end, because obviously the book has to kind of end with the beginning of the first series. So we are, I think, slowing down. But yeah, I really like that. It is really interesting. I think it can be slightly boring, depending on how interested you are in hearing everything more detailed that you already heard in the first two series, because a lot of the stuff in here we did get told in the two series again and again. So there might be some boringness for some people. I personally don't mind. I mean, I'm also like somebody who really rereads books, so it feels like a slight reread, but it's not a reread, you know what I mean? Because we do know like the important points of the stories. It's just now that we get like a fill-in on why the people are the way they are in the later times, you know. That is kind of where it goes. So yeah, I really like the story. I think it's really cool. I think it's really interesting. I think it's kind of a nice thing to have. That is the same thing I love with Tolkien. Like, we have like a really fleshed out world pretty much, and I feel like the Eddings did that pretty good as well. So yeah, it is a good read. I still haven't beaten the Elden Ring end boss. I got through the game so good, like really, really good, I have to say. But now I'm stuck at the end boss, where like a lot of people did it pretty easily and I'm just stuck. It's also not good that I'm a mage and the boss is pretty immune to magic. It's not helpful. But yeah, I'm now going and leveling a little bit more, even though technically I have enough levels. But yeah, I'm struggling and I quit a little bit ago because I lost all of my runes, and there was quite a few levels that I lost, which was annoying. And yeah, I didn't rage quit, but I made an annoying quit. Like, I got annoyed with the game, so I quit. I do still have a plan to finish that game, at least the first playthrough, this week, but I'm kind of thinking I might not. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying. To, get a little bit of relaxation in, I did continue knitting. This is how far I've come. It is going great. So far, I did make a mistake, but I'm actually really happy with this mistake. I can't really see it well, but these ones are all purled. Technically, they should have been knit on this side, but I actually like it more with them being purled because this will be the side seam, and I feel like it works quite well this way around. So I'm actually happy with the mistake I made, which is good. But yeah, that is how it's looking. I will continue with this one now. I might make one or two more tries at the Elden Ring boss, but to be honest, I don't know yet. I'm getting slightly annoyed that I'm stuck at the last boss, and it's showing in my playing, so I'm playing worse because I'm annoyed that I'm stuck there, which isn't helpful. So we'll see. But yeah, work is also going great, which is nice, and I have next week off of work, which is so good. Hopefully I can get quite a bit of reading in. Also, technically, I wanted to play through Silent Hill, the remake, in my week off of work, but now I'm stuck with Elden Ring, and I'm not gonna play anything else till I'm done with that game because I'm enjoying it so much, except for the annoyance. That yeah, I might not get around to that, which is a little bit sad, but the problems of a gamer, it's always the same. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm up to right now. We'll see. I'm kind of thinking about doing like 150 pages tomorrow and 150 pages the day after, and then the 100 pages left on Saturday. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and we'll see where the story's going. Well, I know where the story's going, but we'll see, what happens in between of all of the other stuff. Okay, we made it to Friday. This week isn't my week. If you've ever lived high up, we are living on like the 14th floor. And it is windy in the night, and you are a light sleeper, you will not get any sleep. The wind was horrible tonight. It wasn't even strong wind, but it is really, really loud. And so, yeah, I didn't sleep well at all. I did make quite a lot of progress with reading. I have 100 pages left, and I do really love this book. I think it's really, really nice. I don't love it as much as the first two series, but I think that is kind of also an unfair thing to say because I do love the story, but obviously it's a lot of things that we already know. I enjoy going over the story that we already know in like a lot of detail and much more fleshed out than what we know actually, and all of that. But in the end, it is still kind of a filling in of what we got told in the first two series. So I think you kind of need to remember that going in. What I do love is that we're now at the point, where we get to know the people again that we already knew from the first two series. So we get back to the familiar characters, not like quite the beginning of the first series because obviously we have 100 pages left. But yeah, we are pretty much getting there, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I do love the story. I do think it's pretty cool concept, but obviously it's not new anymore. And I kind of think it's a cool feature that in the book we have points where like, somebody went into that wood, but you don't bother looking for the wood. The woods don't exist anymore. We chopped them down after the fight happened, and because we need firewood, something like that, for example, which obviously like tells you how the fight that is going on right now will end. But we also already know that because of the first two series. So you have like these features where Bagheera's like telling the story can like pretty much pick up things that happen later and tell them earlier because we already know what will happen in a rough way. So it isn't really a spoiler inside the book, So that is kind of a cool concept, and it works quite well, to be honest. But I have to say, I kind of feel like this is too long. I feel like we could have told the story, either like split this up in different books so it doesn't feel as long, but we don't really have like good points where you could split this up. Or I personally would have like done this maybe like 100, 200 pages less. I feel like it's a little bit too much filler in here. And even though I think it's interesting filler, it is still filler in my opinion. So I don't think that quite comes up to my enjoyment of the series, actually. I think this is a little bit weaker. I like the concept, I like how it is done, but I think it's a little bit too much filler in there. But yeah, we'll see the ending. 100 pages that I will tackle tomorrow morning. Yeah, that is kind of up to the point where I'm at right now. Then I have a lot of knitting that I got done. I am now here with the knitting, so I am a pretty good way into the armholes, which, you know, I still need to do quite a bit. But yeah, I'm getting there, and it is looking a lot better than my first one, so I need to unravel the first one still to remake that, but I need to finish that one first. And yeah, that is kind of everything that is up. I'm currently playing Elden Ring. I am doing some farming because I need a few more levels. I changed my build, and I'm hopeful that I can finish the game now and kill the end boss. Hopefully, I am still struggling with that one. But I was really tired this whole week, so ever since the whole changing times, I have not recovered my normal sleeping schedule. Like, I go to bed and get up at my normal times, but my head is still not cooperating with the time change, which is annoying. So yeah, I'm a little bit too tired for Elden Ring a lot of the time, so I haven't made that much progress. But I will try to do that today, because I would really like to get the second and third playthrough done. But for that, I obviously need to finish the game for the first time. And it's just the Elden Beast that is keeping me from finishing the game, which is annoying, to be honest. So yeah, that is what I will continue with now. My partner's at university, so I do also need to go with the dog in a little bit. And yeah, there's not much else that is happening. I did finish rearranging my bookshelves, which I will film that video for next week, so you will get that next week. Because I'm really happy with how they're looking right now, so I'm gonna do like a rearranged bookshelf tour. So yeah, I need to do like a few finishing touches, but the books are where they are supposed to be, which I'm really happy with. So yeah, that is the update for today. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about the ending and where this books end in comparison to where the first series starts. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, it is Saturday afternoon now. I just finished Beggarth the Sorceress. I know now what the next book is about, because the book finishes with Geryon being born. A little bit after that, pretty much the point he loses his parents. That is where the book ends, and we then get a little bit of like a sneaky the rest of the story, and the part from Polgara's point of view will be obviously told in the next book, which is the Polgara book. So yeah, I like the book. I think it's too long. I think it should have been 2 books, to be totally honest, because I do like getting the whole story. I just think it was too much in one book. And there were points where I was like, okay, I want to get a little bit further in. It does fill in a lot of blanks and like holes in the story, in what we get in like the series. But I don't know. I think it's a 4.5. I think I can't quite give it a 5 stars, even though it's super interesting and it's super cool to see, like, you know, what happened before, and the parallels to what we saw in the series. But I think it's too long for me personally. I do have to also say I don't love big books. I think the ideal book for me is around like 400 pages. I don't love books that go above that because I often feel like it's just at those page counts it starts to get a little bit of filler, which is why I personally love that The Lord of the Rings is split in three, even though it wasn't originally. And I think, for example, I did love It by Stephen King, but I do think it would have been a little bit nicer to have it split into a few books, which it wasn't, and I made my way through that, but it took me a whole month. So, you know, I feel like such big books feel more like a project than reading a book, which obviously is a pretty personal point of view. But yeah, I give it 4.5 stars. I did really enjoy it. I now need to go and buy the next one because I don't actually own that one. So yeah, I need to get a copy. Hopefully I can get one in the same style as this one. That would be nice. We'll see what I can get secondhand online because I have all of David Evans' books secondhand, so I would love to continue that. And I need to get 3 of his books. I need to get Paul Guerra, and then I need to get the second and third book of the next series. So I will probably go and look that up tomorrow, and then I can tell you next week's log if I found them. And yeah, that would be nice because I do want to continue with this rather sooner than later. I now have 3 books left on my TBR for the month, which is a brilliant, brilliant amount. I have done a lot of reading at the beginning of this month, so I'm starting to feel a little bit burned out on the reading, so we'll see. I might just continue on Monday and not tomorrow with the next book, but you know, it is what it is. I will now end this vlog here because it is Saturday afternoon and I need to start editing this video, so that is what I will be doing now. I would like to show you my knitting, but it's in a state where if I pick it up I might lose stitches, and I don't want to do that because I'm currently doing the neckline. So I will show you that in next week's vlog. And yeah, I have now a week of vacation, which is nice. A little bit over the week because of the Easter holidays, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you for watching this week's vlog, and I hope you still enjoyed it, even though it was only about one book. But I mean, it's an 800-page book, so I think it's, you know, a fair thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my opinions about this book, and hopefully I will see you in the next vlog. If you've read anything interesting this week, please leave it down below. I love hearing what you read and how it was. I think it's brilliant. I love to see what other people read, so please do that. Leave it down below, and I hope you had a great reading week, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.